Hello and welcome to the 5 powerful steps to leave your depression, anxiety and disabling emotions behind with me, Tori. I am so honoured that you have taken the time to sign up and watch this masterclass, and I'm super excited to be able to share this with you. So thank you so much for showing up. So the next 30 minutes for you. You are in the right place if you're suffering from trauma or disabling emotions. Things like depression, anxiety, loss, flashbacks, feeling on guard all the time, craving control, agreeing to things just to keep people happy, feeling responsible for others' happiness and forgetting about your own, feeling empty, numb, the need for escapism, maybe having a negative worldview, difficult relationships, unsettled, anger, panic attacks, and many more. Anything, any emotional reason that your life is being held back for, you are in the right place. If you're ready to let go of your trauma and disabling emotions and stop letting them control you, if you want to feel at home in yourself and lead a happy, free life, if you are ready to do the work to make this happen, you are in the right place. You're not in the right place if you're not suffering from trauma or disabling emotions. If you want others to do the work for you and give you the answers, this is a big one, because you won't create change or transformation looking for other people to do the work and give you the answers, okay? That has to come from you. Yes, there's support, and yes, there's tools available to you. But to really make that change and transformation, you have to use that support and those tools and find your own answers inside of yourself and do the work. No one else can do it for you, okay? And if you're suffering from trauma or disabling emotions, but you're not ready to take the steps to change, that's okay. Please feel free to carry on watching this video. Everybody is at a different point in their journey, and it might just not be the right time for you. So what we will cover over the next 30 minutes is my story, why one form of traditional therapy on its own just won't work for the majority of people. Now that's from my own experience and through experiences of clients I've worked with. Why just talking about it isn't always helpful and may even send you backwards on your trauma recovery journey. And the way smart women actually reprogram their brain to create incredible, magical shifts in their life. And how to do all of this whilst creating lasting change and regaining control of your emotions, well-being, and your life, and to know that there is a way out, okay? So if you are ready and you want to know how to get out of trauma, if you want to leave disabling emotions behind and find a place of happiness and freedom inside of yourself, I will be offering you a step towards this transformation at the end of the video. There's no pushy sales, I promise you. So my journey, Tori's journey. To the left, there's a few things that I was dealing with throughout my life, and distractions that I used as well to help me with my emotions. So I'll just come on the video for a second. Hi, I just share in a nutshell a bit of my story with you. I won't talk for too long. So throughout my life, I had a huge amount of loss and a huge amount of change. I was moved around a lot, different schools, different houses, different areas, making different friends. It's a very confusing childhood for me. And after a little while, I ended up putting up my guard and thinking, if I'm going to keep getting moved around, what's the point in making these friendships? I mean, even a few of my best friends, I wasn't even allowed to say goodbye to when we moved. Now, I held on to that for many, many years, and that really, really affected me. And it affected all my relationships moving forward, really. I also had a lack of family closeness. So my parents divorced when I was quite young. And I saw my family now and again, not all the time. When we did, we really got on. But I would say that that closeness just wasn't there. So that emotional support wasn't there for me. And I did feel quite alone. I felt like I had to deal with it all by myself. And even from quite a young age as well, I felt like I had to be the one to stand up and deal with it and take control, really. So I came up with some coping mechanisms, numbed out the bad things, got on with the good things, got on with life. But I did have some very bad anger issues that would rear its head randomly. And traumatic events happened throughout my life as well. That really did affect me a huge amount. And I never dealt with them. I just kept moving on to the next thing and the next thing and distracting myself more and more and more. Drugs, alcohol, work, courses, anything I could, dangerous situations, anything to raise the adrenaline. I just kept moving on and on and on and never really dealing with anything. Emotionally abusive relationships, I had quite a few of them. And the last relationship I had before my breakdown, which was 4 years ago, I was in a very high stress job. I drove a lot for my job. He was quite controlling and emotionally abusive. And he never really cared about what I wanted. It was always about what he wanted. And one day my body and my mind just said, that's enough. And I ended up dealing with very, very hindering depression, anxiety, panic attacks. And I drove a lot for my work. And one of my traumatic events, or a couple of my traumatic events, involved car crashes. So a lot of flashbacks would happen when I was in the car, which would then set off panic attacks, and I'd have to stop and I wouldn't be able to drive home for a while, or I wouldn't be able to carry on with my day. Some days I wouldn't even be able to get out of bed. And if I did, I'd be lucky to get to the sofa. So I ended up going to the doctors. I ended up getting put on medication. I was put on a waiting list for therapy. I had to tell 3 people my story before I even managed to get into therapy, and then wait 6 weeks before I did have the therapy. And then I think I was only like 10 sessions or something. I had to start the whole process again. And I knew deep down that that wasn't solving the problem. The CBT was great for coping mechanisms, but it wasn't getting to the root. My medication sort of helped at the time, but it's masking it. It's not getting to the root. And one day when I was lying on the sofa, I'm feeling pretty bad with depression, it just hit me. Like, I just need to change. I need to change my life. What isn't working? Okay, I'm in a toxic relationship, living in a toxic environment. It's not that great for a healing, for changing how I'm feeling. So I did. Over the next few weeks, I made arrangements, which was quite difficult while I'm still dealing with anxiety, depression, and other bits going on. I mean, some days I couldn't even leave the house because it felt like there was a brick wall that was built in front of the front door, you know? So anyway, I upped and left to pack my bags, and I went back to my mum's for a little while I was buying a house. Came off the meds, dug out my old coursework, started doing yoga, meditation, journaling, doing all of, looking through all my old course books and picking out tools that would help me, like EFT, CBT that I learned, some counseling techniques I actually did on myself and was journaling about them. But I knew that that wasn't going to be enough. It would help me to a point, but really I need to do it with somebody else to really see the results. So I started paying for therapy. I started doing different types of therapy. I signed myself up to a psychology degree because I really like the holistic approach, but I also think the science behind how the brain works and how we are in the world is super important. Then I did a 2-year shamanic course, and just blew everything apart for me. I mean, it was so intense, really made me face a lot of things. And throughout the years, I mean, doing the courses I did for myself, but I also did them because in the back of my mind, I knew one day I wanted to help people get over their disabling emotions and emotions that are stopping them from living their life. So 4 years later, probably 10 courses later, I'm now living a life that I'm super happy with. I love myself. I enjoy getting up every day. Yes, I have bad times. I mean, everybody has good and bad days. They don't just stop. The difference is I can handle them. I have the tools to handle them. I don't get sucked into the emotions. And it's just, okay, I'm feeling a bit sad today. I'm feeling a bit angry today. I'm feeling a bit stressed today. It's okay. It's temporary. You know, I'm actually experiencing what love is, or what happiness is. It's amazing, really is amazing. I am in a healthy, loving relationship that I never thought was possible. Super happy, working the jobs that I want to be doing, living in a gorgeous place in Devon. My life is completely transformed. Now, it took work. It took a lot of work and a lot of dedication and a lot of, quite frankly, shitty days and nights where I would be facing myself and the stuff that's going on inside. But it's so worth it. I never believed I could feel like this. I always thought there was something wrong with me, a reason why I was dealt a crap hand in life. Always had a negative view about things. Maybe I'm not worthy for a relationship. Maybe I'm just not cut out for a relationship. But that's all I ever really craved for. So having these changes and dealing with everything that I did over the last 4 years was so worth it. And I'm so happy to be sitting in front of you now and saying that I have these tools and these experiences to be able to help you transform and change your life just as I have. So that's just a little bit about me and my passion and why I'm doing this work. And I'm so happy you're here watching this video with me. I'll just go back to my presentation. So just to recap, I have no need for drugs and alcohol anymore, no need for those distractions. I have healthy relationships. I have a stable life. I found my happiness. I'm living a life I want without the need for distractions, a life full of love, a life that makes sense, a life with purpose. And I have finally found myself without past conditionings and pain. So why one form of traditional therapy on its own just doesn't work for the majority of people? So many people out there are offering one therapy to fix the problem. And I'm not saying that therapy doesn't work. I'm sure, like, all the therapies out there are amazing, but just one on its own, I have not found this helpful. And the clients I have worked with have also experienced the same thing. So there could be a long waiting list through the NHS, as I touched on in my video. Or if you go down the private route, it means a big amount of money per hour for weeks on end without knowing when the end is. So this can be frustrating for a few reasons. You don't have anything to work towards. You know, you're finding this time every week out of your day, out of your week, and you're having to come up with the money. And just using that one form of therapy, it's such a slow process. And it might be such a slow process, even just for that one thing you're working on. But if you actually think about your body and your mind and all the stuff you're dealing with, your emotions, your pain, if you work with the body and the mind together, it creates magic. But you can't work with the body and the mind with just one therapy. You really need different tools. And you need different tools to talk to the body in the body's language and to talk to the mind in the mind's language. This will allow the body and the mind to process the emotions, to release them. One therapy can't combat different things going on in the body and the mind in an effective way. You do need a combination. So in that one session, how amazing would it be if that therapist had 5 or 6 different tools under their belt? So you're talking about what's happened, then a pain comes up in your body or a big emotion comes up, and you switch up the therapy. You do, say, EFT, and you tap out that strong emotion. Once you've done that, maybe you go back to the story, and maybe there's some tension in your body. So you shake it out, you do some movement, some somatic therapy, and so on and so on and so on. There's so much stuff that can come up in one session. If you have different tools to deal with the different things that come up, you can transform so much in that one session, rather than just carrying on with the same thing again and again and again, which doesn't work for everything. Okay, so I'm not saying that one therapy isn't good. That one therapy is probably amazing and it's probably really good for something, but just one therapy on its own doesn't combat the body and the mind in the way that we really need to be thinking of doing. So why just talking about it isn't always helpful, and it may even send you backwards, it may even re-traumatize you. So first of all, your body holds a lot of information. If you think about all those years that have gone by that you haven't dealt with things, that you've just pushed them down. Oh, I don't need to think about that. Oh, I'll just get on with my day. Oh, let's just carry on working or distract myself with dinner or something like this. The more you push down and not deal with, your body holds on to all of that information. It doesn't let it go. Like, if it's not in your mind, doesn't mean that it's not in your body. So your mind is quite good at distracting, but your body will hold everything. Okay, and it shows itself in pains, in the way that you hold yourself, in your movement, tightness, so many things your body does show you. But if you are distracted, if you are disassociated with your body, if you're numbed out, then you can't read that information. Okay, and sometimes having the understanding of why doesn't always shift it. So if you're talking about one specific event, like, sometimes having that understanding is really important, but it might not shift how you feel about it. You might still think about that event and still have those emotions attached. Okay, so just talking about it doesn't always change that emotion that's attached to the thing. As I've already said, the body and the mind together is magic. If you talk to them together, you create so much change, so much quicker. So no matter how much insight and understanding we develop, the rational brain struggles to talk the emotional brain out of its own reality. So what I mean about that is, you might have the understanding of the story. So that's your rational brain has that understanding. But if you still have all that emotion attached to that story, your emotional brain takes over. It can't hear the rational brain anymore. The emotions have come up like you are reliving it, like it is happening now. And no matter how loud the rational brain shouts and says, I understand why, this is from years ago, or it happened because of this, it doesn't matter, because those emotions are so strong, it overrides the rational brain. Okay, it overrides the understanding sometimes. So sometimes also it can be quite hard to notice and feel, put into words, the reality of the internal experience. You could have something going on that you just can't talk about because you don't have the words for it. Maybe your memory isn't there anymore. Maybe you disassociated yourself from it, blocked it off. There's so many reasons why you might not have the words to explain what's happened, but you might have the feeling, you might have the pain. It's there in one way or another, but sometimes you just can't talk about it. So some of the things that I'm going to suggest for you to take away today as little tools is breathwork, meditation, movement, and touch. So breathwork, we breathe every day to keep ourselves alive, but we don't always utilize our breath. So one really good tool to help you if you're feeling stressed, anxious, if any of your emotions are really heightened, is to breathe. Breathe in for 4 and out for 7. Breathe in for 4 and out for 7. If you try this while you're not in strong emotions, so you can get used to it, then when you do really need it, if something strong really comes up for you, then you already have the muscle tissue, I suppose, to be able to use it without thinking. It doesn't have to be 4 and 7 all the time, but as long as the out breath is always longer than the in breath, your body will instantly relax and slow down. So meditation. Now you can do sitting meditation, straight back, lying meditation. You can have your eyes open or shut. But what I'm also going to say to you today is to try and meditate throughout the day. Okay, if you're not very experienced with meditation, start doing it. It's a bit more like mindfulness, but start doing it maybe while you're trying to make a cup of tea, while you're taking a walk. Really notice what you're doing, what's around you, the sights, the smells, the noises. Really take in everything about that one moment. Meditation is about quieting the mind and focusing on what is now. Okay, so try and do that with your activities. Movement. So movement is one thing. I'm going to use one example of a wild animal. Now, if a wild animal is chased, about to be hunted by another animal, it runs. The fight or flight response kicks in. It runs. And if it manages to outrun its predator and doesn't get eaten, when it's safe, it shakes. It will shake all that fear out. It will shake all that adrenaline and calm down its body. It shakes it all out. As humans, we don't do that. We have fear. We have anxiety. We're faced with situations that are very highly emotional, but we don't seem to do anything afterwards to release that. So try next time. Say you've just had an argument or something quite strongly emotional has happened. When that's happened and you're in a safe place, in a different room, at your house, like wherever you feel safe, try shaking, try moving, try dancing, try to get it all out, move your body. Okay. And touch. This is a big, big, big one. I don't know about you, but through my experience and my clients' experience, a lot of highly emotional events, depression, anxiety, and traumas, they can numb you out. You don't want to feel. So you almost like forget about your body in a way. If that is you, try touch. Go for a massage. If you don't feel comfortable with somebody else touching you, or actually just try this anyway, touch yourself. Massage yourself, pressure points. Go to every part of your body and give thanks to it. Thank you, hands, for helping me pick things up, for helping me cook, for feeding me. Thank you, arms, for helping me lift things, and shoulders for giving me strength. Thank you, legs and feet, for carrying me all day. Go to every part of your body and really give thanks for what it does for you every day. If you feel comfortable enough, or you've done that for a few times, add in love. Give your knees love. Give your feet love. Give your neck love. You know, I love you, neck. Thank you so much for holding up my head, holding me strong. Yeah? Try it. So the way smart women actually reprogram their brain to create incredible magic shifts in their life. So we have things called neural pathways in our brains. Now they can be changed. You can change the way you feel, think, and behave. But your brain has so much to take in every minute that it picks out patterns and responses that it is used to. Okay, and this starts from your childhood, from your environment, from how people spoke to you, from how you felt, from how you were treated. That is how you, rightly or wrongly, felt safe as a child. So that is what your brain picks out through adolescence and adulthood. It's what it's used to. It's the patterns and responses that it feels familiar and safe with, that you feel familiar and safe with. So it's a bit daunting to change this at first, and there's going to be some resistance. But with repetition, you can change it. You can create new neural pathways by repeating new actions and thoughts. So it's like learning a new skill. The more you do it, the better you're going to become at it, the quicker you learn it. So this can be done, but it will take daily motivation. I would say to start with awareness. Write and journal the thoughts that you have, the ones that you could be kinder with, the behaviors you admit, and maybe the behaviors that you don't particularly want to have, and the behaviors you'd prefer to have. The thoughts towards yourself, the more negative thoughts, how could you flip them? How could they be different and more kind to you? Write out affirmations. So have a daily affirmation. Start off with a couple, don't overwhelm yourself, and repeat them daily. Now we're all human. Okay, it's going to take a little while to change this. So don't be hard on yourself. If you behave in a way that you thought, oh, I didn't want to do that, and I'd already thought about the way I wanted to behave, and why did I behave like this, and oh, I'm useless. Don't be hard on yourself, okay? The kinder you are to yourself, the quicker this will actually work. So instead of being hard on yourself, just say, oh, that's okay, I behaved that way. Next time, I'm going to try this. And really imagine yourself behaving in the new way. And the same with thoughts. Really bring your awareness into your thoughts. How are you speaking to yourself? How are you thinking about others? Okay? And change them. Journal them. Affirmations. Be kind to yourself. So we can get caught up in the same situation and feelings and experiences again and again because of those old neural pathways, or because of the current neural pathways. That is why we attract the same people, the same experiences, because that is what we're used to. That's where we feel safe, okay? But you have the power to change this. Give that a go and see what it does. But you need repetition for this to work. So how do you do all of this while creating lasting change and regaining control of your emotions and well-being? Well, with just a few of those simple tools that I've shared with you, you can start to break through and find a place of happiness and love inside of yourself. You can live a life free from past events controlling you. And you can live a life that you really want and start to feel how you really want. Now, there are many other tools and many other supports that are necessary to create really, really deep, ingrained, lasting change and transformation. But the tools that I have just shared with you are a really great place to start. They're simple. Yes, they need motivation and dedication, but you can really start to change some of how you feel with them. Now, a warning, your life can be so different in a few months. You'll be amazed with where you are if you really start to implement them today. But your life can be so different. And with that difference, it might mean changing things in your life. Okay. I know through my journey and my client's journey, we definitely changed a lot in our lives. Let go of people, careers, different shifts. Like, through this work, you will get to know what you really want, your boundaries, and where you really want to stand. Okay, and you'll stand strong in that. But you will be amazed with where you can be. So don't stay in your pain, and don't keep having unhealthy relationships. Stop living with confusing emotions and feeling unsettled. Stop reaching for things to distract you, to numb your emotions or your body. Stop dealing with depression and anxiety. And all in all, stop living such a hard life, because that is such a hard life. To wake up every day and deal with that, deal with the negative, disabling, strong emotions, it is tough. Doing the work to change it and coming out the other side, your life will be so much easier, so much lighter. You'll be so much happier and waking up every day excited to live. Okay? Now, what can you do if you were ready? With these tools, you can take control of your life. You can live the life that you want. Find a place of happiness and peace inside yourself, okay? So this is your choice. Stay where you are or take the step to change. If you are really ready to take the steps to change, book a call with me. It's a free 30-minute to 45-minute phone call where we can talk about what's going on with you. I can give you some tools to help you and support you with where you are right now. But the call is really to see if you are ready to come onto a program with me. Now, I only take people who are ready and motivated to change, and that I am confident I can help with my tools and my experience. If for any reason I feel like my experience and tools will not benefit you, I will signpost you in the right direction, or I will ask if I can pass your number on to somebody that I know who can get in contact with you, who's a specialist in that area, okay? And I only support 6 people at a time, so space is limited. I do that so I can really give the best of me to everybody in my program. I want to help and support transformation in your life. And I want to give you guys the best energy. So it's just 6 people at a time. So if you're ready to book a call, click on the link. Or please head to my Facebook page, have a little look around. And there's also a click to book call on there at the top of the page. If this does ring true to you, if you are ready to make change in your life, I really hope I see you in my calendar soon for a call to see what magic we can create together for your life. Okay, thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. Take care.